Dana Rohrabacher from Orange County, Huntington Beach area of California. Congressman Rohrabacher, 5 pages of this 20-page speech spent on foreign policy. I know it's an area that you're often involved in.
Yeah, I think that the president, by focusing on Iran, I think that he was mistaken to compare it to the Reagan years. I mean, there was substance and there was give and take on both sides when Ronald Reagan signed an agreement. In fact, he turned down a lot of agreements that were just fluff and basically PR-oriented treaties. And so tonight, when he started talking about that agreement with the mullah regime in Iran, I sort of winced when he tried to compare it to what Ronald Reagan did. I mean, after all, in this agreement with the mullahs, we're giving up something we put in place for years, this economic sanction. We're giving that up. We're dismantling that, and they're giving up nothing. They're going to refrain from doing something in the future if we give up something now. No, they should be dismantling some of their nuclear facilities right now, some of the equipment they need, the centrifuges now, if we're going to dismantle our economic sanctions. So yeah, I didn't think that was that didn't endear me to the president and give me confidence in his leadership.
As somebody who used to write speeches for Ronald Reagan, what did you think of the overall text?
I thought that the president's speech tonight, and he came down, and as he came down, I just happened to be sitting there, and he shook my hand. I said, "Good job, Mr. President." And it was a good job in his delivery and his tone. Unfortunately, the substance was about as arrogant and belligerent as any speech that I've ever heard given by a president to Congress. He was basically saying, you either do it or I'm going to do it on my own. It's my way or the highway. And, I don't care. Does the president really have authority without Congress to do all these things, raise the minimum wage? I thought we lived in a society where there was our fathers who wrote the Constitution gave the power to the legislative branch and the executive branch, not just the executive branch. So I thought that the tone, the good delivery that he did sort of masked the belligerent message that was right there in the substance of his speech.
Dana Rohrabacher, Republican of California.
I had one more thing. Look, we Republicans are always portrayed as heartless or whatever, and the president spent half of his time trying to further that stereotype of Republicans, that we don't really care about people and the poor people, and especially the unemployed. And half his speech is talking about caring about people. You can't claim to be so concerned about unemployed Americans when you make such an aggressive stand on legalizing the status of illegal immigrants. You can't say, I'm concerned, I want your boss to give you a pay raise while you're bringing 10 to 20 million new people into our country to bid down the wages of working Americans. And I found that rather disturbing that he could, with a straight face, talk about how much he cared about the unemployed while he's advocating so strongly this amnesty, which would not only add the 10 to 20 million illegals who are here, but would likely bring in so many millions more into our country.
Well, you talked about the Republicans' reputation. Have the Republicans been ineffective in their messaging?
I think that the Republicans are ineffective in the messaging. Ronald Reagan, I worked with Reagan. I was a speechwriter for 7 years. And Reagan didn't have a problem with this. And when Reagan was president, we sort of broke through these barriers because he was a good communicator. I find the Republicans have trouble in vocalizing projecting their passion for the things they believe in and their love in their heart for their fellow Americans. It's sort of they're sort of businessmen and businesslike, and they find it hard to project those things. The Democrats, they don't have any problem with this, and half of their message is vote for me because I care about you. And that may not be reflected at all in whether their policies actually help the American people or not.
Dana Rohrabacher, once again, thank you, sir. And from California to Minnesota, The senator from Minnesota, the senior senator